सोरठ महला पहला। जिनी सतगुर सेव्या प्यारे, तिनके साथ तरे। तिना ठाक न पाइए प्यारे, अमृत रसन हरे। बूढ़े भारे भै बिना प्यारे, तारे नदर करे। भी तू है सालाहना प्यारे, भी तेरी सालाह। विण बोहित भै डुबिए प्यारे, गंदी पाए कहा। रहाओ सालाही सालाहना प्यारे, दूजा अवर न कोय। मेरे प्रभ सालाहन से भले प्यारे, शब्द रते रंग होए। तिसकी संगत जे मिलै प्यारे, रस लै तत विलोए। पत परवाना साच का प्यारे, नाम सच्चा निशान। आया लिख लै जावना प्यारे, हुक्मी हुक्म पछाण। गुर बिन हुक्म ना बूझिए प्यारे, साचे साचा ताण। हुक्मे अंदर निम्या प्यारे, हुक्मे उदर मझार। हुक्मे अंदर जम्या प्यारे, उदो सिर कै भार। गुरमुख दरगह जानिए प्यारे, चलै कारज सार। हुक्मे अंदर आया प्यारे, हुक्मे जांदो जाए। हुक्मे बन चलाइए प्यारे, मन मुख लह सजाए। हुक्मे शब्द पछाणिए प्यारे, दरगे पैंदा जाए। हुक्मे गणत गणाइए प्यारे, हुक्मे हौमै दोए। हुक्मे भवै भवाइए प्यारे, अवगण मुट्ठी रोए। हुक्म संजापै शाह का प्यारे, सच मिले वडियाई होए। आखण औखा आखिए प्यारे, क्यों सुनिए सच नाम। जिनी सो सालाहिया प्यारे, हों तिन बलहारे जाऊं। नाउ मिलै संतोखियां प्यारे, नदरी मेल मिलाऊं। काया कागद जेथिए प्यारे, मन मसवाणी तार। ललता लेखन सच की प्यारे, हर गुण लिखो विचार। धन लेखारी नानका प्यारे, साच लिखै उर धार। ललता लेखन सच की प्यारे, हर गुण लिखो विचार। धन लेखारी नानका प्यारे, साच लिखै उर धार। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। संगत जी, today's पावन पवित्र हुक्मनामा साहिब from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 636, blessed to us by our Pehli Paatशाही, blessed to us by Dhan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji, that Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji, that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatshah Ji said that ab chal neev dhari Guru Nanak nit nit chade savai. We're saying that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji has laid down such a foundation that ab chal, that this neev Paatshah Ji is saying is ab chal, it's immovable. This foundation that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah has laid out for us, it cannot be moved. Kende ab chal neev dhari Guru Nanak. It was Guru Nanak Paatshah Ji that has laid this foundation for us. Kende nit nit chade savai, and this foundation is such of dharam that they have given us, can it'll be going into Chardi Kala every moment. So Sangat Ji, it's in Sorat Rag, it's in 8 parts, in 8 paudiyan, So let's listen to the words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji and truly listen to them, embrace them, and throughout the day contemplate these words and meditate on each word Satguru Ji Sache Paatshah Ji saying, and then actually act upon Guru Sahib Ji's words. Jini Satguru Sevya Pyare. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah saying, Jini, those that have Satguru Sevya, that have served the Guru, meaning those that have actually walked upon the Guru's word. Whatever the Guru has said, they have actually followed that way. And Sangat Ji, that Sevya here, meaning to serve the word, so meaning to follow what the Guru is saying. Jini Satguru Sevya Pyare, Tinke Saath Tare. And it's saying that I have been saved with them. And Sangat Ji, whoever is actually taking on the Guru's word and taking every word into their life, they are the ones that are called a Gurmukh. Gurmukh asal vich kya hi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ. A Gurmukh is that one that embraces the Guru's word and becomes the Guru's word. Meaning, Sangat Ji, because the word Gurmukh itself can be translated in so many different ways. Sangat Ji, a beautiful arth of the word Gurmukh is that somebody that takes on, Mukh means the face, and often we translate this to the one that is facing the Guru. Sangat Ji, a beautiful arth of this is the one that takes on the Guru's face, the one that actually becomes the Guru's face. Gur Mukh, Sangat Ji, meaning that those qualities that the Guru had inside of them, those qualities that Guru Angad Dev Ji Paatshah Ji had of devotion towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji, that innocence that they had inside, we take on that face of innocence. Pyareo, those that have served the Guru, kende tinke saath tare, that I've been saved with them. How have I been saved with them? Sangat Ji, saath means with, tare means saved, that I've been saved with them. How, Sangat Ji? Let's listen to this carefully. Paatshah Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਿਨਾ ਠਾਕ ਨਾ ਪਾਈਏ ਪਿਆਰੇ. ਠਾਕ, Sangat Ji, ਇਹਦਾ ਅਰਥ ਬਣਦਾ ਰੁਕਾਵਟ. ਠਾਕ means something that comes in your way to stop you, an obstacle, something that is put in the way, a barrier. A barrier, Sangat Ji, if there's a road that needs to be closed off, if there's an accident ahead, and then they put some barriers in front so you can't go, that it stops you. Sangat Ji, they're saying that tina thak na paiye pyare. They're saying that those that serve the Guru, there's nothing that can stop them now. There's nothing that comes in their way. They're flying, they're enjoying. What are they doing? Kende tina thak na paiye pyare, amrit rasan hare. Amrit rasan hare, Sangat Ji, rasan means tongue. Amrit is that nectar. Hare, because they take the nectar of Vaheguru Ji upon their tongue and are constantly remaining conscious and meditating on the name of Vaheguru Ji, the name that's given to us, and they're saying Vah Guru, Vah Guru, Vah Guru, but they're actually in that experience of Vaheguru. They're actually saying wow, they're actually in awe. And Sangat Ji, those that live their life in that way of remaining in awe, because somebody could be saying the word Vaheguru, but still they've got bitter thoughts, they've still got bitter speech. But Sangat Ji, those that are truly saying Vah, those that are truly in awe, Sangat Ji, there's no space left for any poison. There can only be Amrit. So we've got to now ask ourselves that question. Have we made Naam into Amrit? Have we made it into nectar where we're actually in awe and we're saying Vah of that one? And Sangat Ji, how will we know that? Because then Sache Paatshah Ji say to us, Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sache Paatshah Ji in Sri Hukamnama Sahib, they say that Har ko naam jap nir mal karam. They're saying that the highest way of living is to be saying wow, is to be in awe But then they say, how will you know that you are truly in awe? They'll say that nirmal karam. This is because your karam, your actions, your way of life actually becomes nirmal. It becomes immaculate. It becomes pure. Your response to situations are so sweet because you're now truly saying Vahguru. You're saying wow. So Sangat Ji, that moment you are challenged by someone who is a Gurmukh. A Gurmukh has taken on the Guru's face. Sangat Ji, that when they are challenged with a situation, many of us today, what type of situations are we challenged with? We're challenged with the way our children speak to us. We're challenged with what our children are doing and how we then, the challenge for us is how we respond to that actual situation. Sangat Ji, you can then fit that into whatever situation could be in your life. Because over here, I'm just using family members. How we respond to family members. And that could be, Sangat Ji, your parents. Because parents can be very challenging because they could be set in their way. And they don't want to budge from their way. And they don't know it any other way. So they've got a certain way about them. That could be your partner. And that could be your children. And often it's the most difficult place is with our children. Because they are young, as cute as we think that they are, as sweet as we think that they are, as much as we say you are my life, you are my jind, you are my jaan, that I don't know what I'd do without you. You are my life. I don't know what life would be like without you. Even though we say all these things, but we get irritated by them as well. They challenge us as well. The way they speak to us sometimes, we're not able to handle it. We're not able to handle it, and there's pain. There's pain. Sangat Ji, that's another topic. There's pain because of the possessiveness. Because we think they are mine. And the moment that we think that we own something, Sache Paatshah Ji saying that Mero sab hai kahat hai hit se bandyo cheet. They're saying that we're bound with attachment. Our mind is bound with attachment, and then we think that this is mine. The moment we think this is mine, we get hurt, we feel pain. Sangat Ji, the moment we feel and we're saying that Hey Sache Paatshah Ji, main nahi prabh sab kich tera, we're saying that everything is actually yours. Just like Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji was saying that I actually just gave you back what was already yours. If I felt that Baba Jujhar Singh Ji was mine, I would have felt the pain, I would have felt the hurt. If I felt that Baba Ajit Singh Ji, Baba Jujhar Singh Ji, they are mine, then I would have felt pain. If I had that possessiveness of saying that Mero, et mere ya, but Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji, they lived by what? That's why, Sangat Ji, you'll find in Akal Ustat Guru Gobind Singh Ji Sache Paatshah Ji saying, Tu hi, 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 tu hi. 16 times it comes up, Sangat Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Paatshah Ji saying, there is only but you, there is only but you, there is only but you, main nahi prabh, hey Vaheguru Ji, main nahi, there is no me, there is no me, main. The moment I think there's main, I think you are mine as well. From main comes mera. Sangat Ji, main is the home, main de vichon mera paida hunda ya. Main jadon कहना ए मैं आ, तो मैं de vichon फिर मैं कहना ए मेरा या. From home, from ego comes mine. Sangat Ji, they're two different things. There's that possessiveness of thinking something belongs to me, and that could be our body, that could be our thoughts, and that often is our children. पर मेरे सच्चे पातशाह जी कहन लगे कहंदे मैं नाही प्रभ सब किछ तेरा, कहंदे that everything is yours. ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਇੰਜ ਕਰਦੇ, when we get to that avastha of saying तू करता तू हुआ मुझ में रहा ना हूँ, when Sangat Ji, we're saying, when we get to that तू, we're saying yours, you करता तू हुआ, I become you. And when I become you, there is no pain. There is no attachment, because there is nothing to get attached to, because there is only one left now in my life. There is no duja, there's no duality. So for Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Ji, there is no pain, because they are saying everything is yours. When asked, Guru Gobind Singh Ji is asked the question, ke Hey Sache Pacha Ji, tusi kyun? Why Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Ji? Why did you not even keep one of them? Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Singh, jiski bast tis aage rakhe. They're saying that jiski bast, who they belong to, I just put them back to, placed it back before that one who they belong to. They were never mine in the first place. Sangeet, jiski bast tis aage rakhe. Pacha Ji ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ because everything is yours. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਸ ਕੀ ਬਸ ਇਸ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖੇ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਕੀ ਆਗਿਆ ਮਾਨੇ ਮਾਥੇ ਉਸਤੇ ਚੌਗਨ ਕਰੇ ਨਿਹਾਲ. ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਸਤੇ ਚੌਗਨ ਕਰੇ ਨਿਹਾਲ. ਚੌ means four, gun 4 times over. Gun here Sangat Ji means times. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚੌਗਨ kare nihal. I'm 4 times even now happier. What does that mean? Jodo pyareo kite karja sir te chadya hove na, when we feel that we've got a debt on our mind and we're able to just let go of something and we realize it was never mine in the first place, that makes you even more chardi kala Sangat Ji. When we know that this is nothing is mine, Sangat Ji, in that there is sukh. Ode vich sukh hai Sangat Ji. Yesterday I was just playing around with some words and mere vich man vich eh khayal aaya and I put it up as my Insta story and my status on WhatsApp ki pyare main sochda siga and I was thinking that hey Sadguru Ji Sache Paatshah Ji, and these panktiyan were playing around in my head. Tu karta main nahi prabh sab kich tera tujhko saump de kya lage mera. All these panktiyan Sangat Ji. And I love to put preacher on his toes as well, of going from pankti here to here. It's nice to play around with him sometimes. Pyareo, man vich khayal aaya ke je kite na ke main karunga main de vich home de vich mainu lagda eh mera ya, this is mine. And if I'm thinking this is mine, jadon main soch liya eh mera ya, ta mera kar de dukh pavange. Man vich khayal aaya, if I'm thinking that this is mine, the dukh, there is only but pain. If I'm thinking mine, there is pain. Par pyareo, tera kar de sukh pavange. But if I'm saying it is yours, then there is sukh. That's why Guru Gobind Singh Ji Pacha Ji was jiski bast this aage rakhe. I've given that back to what is yours, Sangat Ji. And many of you might be thinking, whoa, he's gone on one. How is he going to bring this back to the Hukamnama now? Sangat Ji, in this way, let me tell you, Inno kende a Gurmukh. This is a Gurmukh that's taken on the Guru's face now. That has become the Guru's word now. Gurmukh is who has become the Guru's word, Gurmukh. Now, Sangat Ji, our Mukh should be what? Our mukh should be the Guru's word. What the Guru is saying, we've now taken on that. And when we are amongst those that have taken on the Guru's word, and that's become now their face, Sangat Ji, Jini Satgur Sevya Pyare. Pacha Ji saying, Jini Satgur Sevya Pyare. When they have served the Guru's word to that extent, when we are amongst those that we see that they live their life in that way, when they don't think that this is mine, and then the response becomes what to their children? The children challenges them. That child challenges them. And how do they respond to that child? They respond to that child with the Guru's word. Sangat Ji, because now, pyareo tina thak na paiye, because there is nothing that is going to come in their way. There is no obstacle now that is going to come in their way. Obstacle meaning what? There is no what? There is no pride. You're not looking down at them. There is no anger. The words that they've said, no talk. What obstacle? What stop? Stop meaning no anger is going to be able to stop me now. I'm flying. Why am I flying? Why can no anger get to me, in, no matter how my child has just spoke to me, doesn't make it okay. That's a different topic. It doesn't make it okay. That's a topic of disciplining and filling them with positive qualities. But I'm talking about us here. The response is when I've got the amrit, when I'm saying Vah, Guru, and Sangaji, I mean that ras. From ras can never come anger, because anger can't stop. Where there is ras, where is that juice of love flowing inside, then anger cannot stop me. Sangaji, tina thak na paiye pyare. Sangaji, and then what will come out of my mouth? Amrit rasan, only sweetness will come out of my mouth. Only that will come out of my mouth, which not from hurt, because there can't be any hurt, because I don't think of them as mine. Only if I thought they were mine, I'd feel hurt. So there's no hurt. Those words will only words of, only amrit, only par upakar, only words that are gonna do good for them will come out. Only sweetness will come out now. What will come out is now I'm becoming more conscious of my response, the way I respond to them. And I think, am I going to respond in pride? No, I'm not going to look down at them. To think that, you know, tu mera bachcha ya, main teri maa ya. How many times do we say this? Pe kaun hai tera, tu ke main. How many times do we say this? Not realizing that that's actually saying that I'm superior, that you're inferior, and you're putting them down. There's a different thing that Guru Ramdas Ji Sache Paatshah Ji said. They're saying that that who you are arguing with, they said these are those that have actually nurtured you from compassion, reminding them we only have compassion for you. There is only but compassion. But is there compassion? There's got to be that compassion. And then the way we respond is with sweetness. Try it today. When you're challenged, think about it. Bring amrit into your tongue and say, I'm not going to let anger stop me now. Tina thak na paiye. I'm not going to let anger stop me now. And then I'm going to actually respond with some amrit in the way I respond to my partner, in the way I respond to my children, to my parents, to my colleagues, whoever they are. And you respond with amrit and say, Bacche, na, bete, using these sweet words, Bacche, bete, pyare, you know, sing that to your children, tu mere guru ke pyare, tu mere guru ke pyare. And that's what's getting fed into them. Not negativity, main teri maa ya, main tera pyo hu, tu mera pyo hu. You know, that's bitter. That's where's that coming from? That's coming from attachment and mind. Sangaji, what is this saying? How, when we are in the company of those, we don't see them get angry. When we see them always responding with amrit, when we see that they are not dragged down by greed, they're not constantly thinking, how can I make that next dollar? How can I make that next pound? How can I, you know, when we're around those, Jini Sadhguru Sevya Pere Tinke Saath Tere. Sangaji, you know, if you look at it scientifically, even if you look at it scientifically, a child, they say, from about the last 3 months of their time in their mother's womb, all the way up to about 7 years old, how do they learn? I've said this before, but we can never hear it enough. How do they learn? What's the most powerful way that they actually learning is through observation. As they are observing, and Sangaji, and not just observing what you're doing, but even more powerful is they are in touch. They're very intuitive with what? With what you are feeling and your actual energy and your vibration and your emotions. And so they are able to take that on. We can say to a child, Bacche part kar, do your part. But that they won't take on as much as if they see you do your part, they'll observe your actions. But Sangaji, even that isn't enough. Why? Because they can tap into your feelings and emotions. So when they tap into your feelings and emotions, if you're doing part and you're irritated, if you're reading Guru's words and you are irritated and you want to just get it done, and you keep telling them off during that time, and your emotions are you're quite down and you're quite angry, even more than them seeing you do the part, the reading the Guru's words, they'll actually be able to sense your emotions whilst you are doing that action. And that observation is a natural observation. They're not trying to work it out. It's just happening naturally. Because that's Qudrat, that's Vaheguru, Vaheguru's way. And that they'll be able to then absorb, not able to, they are absorbing, maaf karna, I should be more careful with my words. They are absorbing that. And then if you say to them, beta, read Gurbani, they'll say, you was full of anger when you was doing it. That's the outcome, is anger when you read Gurbani. No thank you. Even though it's not, but that's what they've naturally observed, and that's what they've then absorbed. Understand that, Sangatji. More powerful than telling somebody a line out of Gurbani. And Sangatji, and this is someone talking that is obviously contemplating and talking about Gurbani. But let me tell you some home truths. That you can talk to somebody about a line from Gurbani. Guru Sahib Ji says this. But the observation that they are going to be getting from you is when they see you living by that Pangti is going to be way more powerful than you even saying the words of the Guru to someone. And Sangatji, in a similar way, yes, when we get into adulthood, now as adults, yes, we don't learn in that way as much as we would have when we were that age, but Sangatji, that is still the most powerful way of how we are still actually becoming something, is through the observation and natural observation. Much more powerful as a child, but we still do it now. The amount of times I hear my kids saying, but Dad, you just did that. But Dad, you felt like that. Or Dad, you was upset when you was doing that. And Sangatji, how can we are saved in that way. That's how we are saved when we're around a Gurmukh, not because they're talking Bani to us, they have become the face of Bani. When somebody comes to them and challenges them and are nasty to them, and this can be in the household, as we keep observing, as we keep taking that energy in, we see one person in the household are always responding sweetly, aren't getting irritated by somebody's comments, and you think, oh my God, I'm here wrecking myself with constantly getting irritated, constantly getting angry. You're gonna eventually say, I want a bit of that. You might not admit it, but you think, wow, I think that's crazy. I want to be in that world. And when you start observing, and when you start saying, I want to be in that world, you then, Sangatji, you start becoming that. In that way, then tinke saath tare. You become saved like that, not because of what they've told you to do, it's because of their being. You've now started to take that on because you think, I don't want this poison. I don't want this poison. I've seen the way I speak in bitterness sometimes. When I bite at someone, I want to say, get away from me. Just stop it. And when I see that I'm there and I don't like it myself, it puts me a really bad mood and it brings me down, it gives me butterflies, it makes me more angry, and it's full of poison. I want a bit of that, wow. And just that vibration, and eventually when you become more and more conscious of that, you will start to be saved as well. So Sangaji, in that way, that's how we become saved. Jini Satguru Sevya Pyare, those that have served the Guru's word, become the Guru's word, Tinke Saath Tere, we are saved with them. Tina Thak Na Paiye Pyare, those that have become the Guru's word, there is no talk, there is no chore. Their senses, their eyes, their ears, their krodh, that anger, that does not become that obstacle, that does not become that stop sign for them. They just full steam ahead, Amrit Rasan Hare, because now all they've got is Amrit upon their tongue. They've got that nectar, Naam upon their tongue. Bude, Pare, Pa, Bina, Pyare. Those that don't actually keep that Pa, keep that fear of realization of this action is bringing this reaction. Every time I speak bitterly, it actually has a profound effect on my mind, and it fills me even with more bitterness, anger, and it brings me down, and I just constantly and I actually start to feel low. And when I'm not living consciously in that fear of realization of what my actions are doing to me, then what happens? Bude, I start to drown. Then Pare, because I'm starting to become heavy in my own actions, lowly actions. Bude Pare Pa Bina Pyare Tare Nadar Kare. Only then, when I start to realize actually this action is bringing me down, it's ruining me. So then when I lower myself, and then Waheguruji, they glance upon me as I lower myself, and then I am saved. Pi tu hai salahana, pyaro shabdarth pothi from Shromani Committee from Amritsar. Beautiful translation they've given of Pi here. Pi meaning no matter what challenge comes in my life, no matter what it is, can they Pi still, no matter what, tu hai salahana, I will always praise you, Waheguruji. Pyare Pi teri salah, always, no matter what, I'll always remain in your praise, Waheguruji. I will never say to you, Waheguruji, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened to me. I can't believe, what is it? I've heard so many Punjabis saying Rab towards God, saying, Pata nahi tenu kedi dushmani hai mere naal. I've actually heard people saying that I don't know what enmity you've got towards me. No matter what happens, I'm always in constant praise of you, saying, Waheguruji, you are wow, that I've done something under your natural laws that is bringing me this pain. So wow, Waheguruji, thank you for giving me this pain to make me realize that I'm going off path and I'm walking on those nettles now. Every moment is Pi, always, no matter what, Teri Sala, your praise. Vin bohit pa dubbiye pyare. If I don't jump into that boat, bohit means boat, of pa, of that fear, of being more conscious of what these actions actually fold out to, then I'll drown. Dubbiye pyare kandi paaye kahan. How am I going to get to the other side of where Waheguruji exists, of living in that Amrit Raha? Contemplate this, Sache Paatshah Ji saying, Kande Salahi Salahana Pyare, I'll always Salahana, I'll always praise that one that is Salahi, that is of praiseworthy, that is Waheguruji. Because if I ever feel any sukh, when I do feel that happiness and bliss, it's because of you, Waheguruji. It's your laws that have allowed me to feel that happiness. Duja avarna koi, there is nobody else. Duja horta koi hai niga, there is no second person, there is only but you, Waheguruji. Mere Prabh salahan se pale pyare, mere Prabh. Those, Sache Paatshah Ji is saying, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paatshah Ji is saying, those that praise my Waheguruji, mere, very intimate, very personal, mere Prabh. Those that praise my Waheguruji, that is everyone's Waheguruji. Say pale, those are the ones that are pale. Those are the ones that are seemed, that Waheguruji looks at to be good people in this world. Shabad ratte rang hoy, and then through the Shabad, through the Guru's words, they become imbued in love of Vaheguru, love of everything. Tiski sangat je mile pyare. If I get to be in the company of those that are actually in love, are constantly just showering love because they've become love now, what will happen if I meet them? Kende ras la, I'll take that ras, I'll take that juice from them. And Sangaji tat veloy, and actually as I'll be churning this ras, then this juice, taking this beautiful vibration from them, then I'll actually then realize that the true essence of my being, that being Vaheguru Ji. Tat parwana sach ka pyare. Then I take what? I now got the parwana, the passport of what? What is the passport that leads me to my pati, to Vaheguru Ji? That passport that I need is sach ka pyare, is of sach, of living truthfully. Naam sacha nisan. And what is the stamp I need? What is the visa that I need to get to my pati, to get to Vaheguru Ji? Is of naam, is having that amrit on my tongue all the time of Vaheguru, of always being in awe. Aya likh le javna pyare, always having this realization that coming into this world, Aya, and I will take with me likh le javna, I will take with me whatever I scribe myself, my own actions are what I scribe, and I will take them with me. Pyare hukmi hukam pachan is saying wake up. It's saying recognize the hukam, the laws of how everything works. It's hukmi of that Vaheguru Ji that actually lays out the laws. Pachan, realize and recognize this, that is you yourself that is in control of what is happening to you. In which way? It's because of what I do is folding out. So just like Sache Paatshah say, hukmi likh dukh sukh paiya hai. Kende you get sukh accordingly to what you scribe for yourself. If you speak sweetly, then you will have sukh. You will feel at ease. You will feel so good inside. It's a natural law of Vaheguru Ji that hukmi likh dukh sukh paiya. Sangat ji, hukam likh dukh sukh paiya hai. So hukam, that through Vaheguru Ji's will way, can they likh, I scribe for myself, can they dukh and sukh, pain and happiness. Sangat ji, if we look at that, it's very simple to understand. So I am responsible of my own sukh and dukh, Sangat ji. Because if I scribe sweet words, then I will scribe for myself what? Sukh. Then I will scribe for myself being at peace. If I scribe bitter words, then I will scribe dukh for myself. Then I am writing myself through my actions dukh for myself. I've invited it to myself, and then I'll feel unhappy, Sangat ji. So then Sache Paatshah kende Gur bin hukamna boojiye pyare. Kende, but we need a guru to get this understanding. Sache sacha taan, because that Sangat ji, that sache sacha taan, the true power of Vaheguru Ji, it lays in way of actually following a truthful path. That can be translated many ways, Sangat ji, but just taking that one way of looking at it. Kende hukam hai andar nimya pyare. Kende through the Vaheguru Ji's hukam, through Vaheguru Ji's laws, the way they have designed it to be, only not under my power, underneath their hukam, their laws. Nimya pyare, I am conceived. Hukam hai udar majar, only through Vaheguru Ji's laws and design. Udar means womb. Majar, I can actually be within the womb of that mother. Kande hukme andar jammya pyare, only within Vaheguru Ji's laws. Andar jammya, I can actually be born. Uddo, it's with Vaheguru Ji's laws. They have designed for that when we are in the womb to be Uddo. Uddo means to be upside down. Sir ke par, and with all the weight of the body being on our head, meaning our head is actually down, facing down. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਦਰਗੇ ਜਾਣੀਏ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਦਰਗੇ it's the Gurmukhs, those that take on the Guru's face, Sangat Ji, the Guru's word, darge janiye, they are known in God's world. Kende challe karj sar, kende they go from this world. Karj sar is sewing everything out, meaning that everything they did was all good. Kende hukme andar aaya pyare, we come into this world only under the hukum, the command of Vaheguru Ji. Hukme jando jaye, we can only leave this world under Vaheguru Ji's will. Hukme ban chalaiye pyare, in Vaheguru Ji's hukam, some people ban are tied up chalaiye and dragged away from their bodies because they are so attached and to Maya, to this illusion, they don't want to leave. So that process becomes very difficult for them, and it feels as if now there's a force, because of their resistance, something is pulling them out of their body now. And those that follow their own mind and not take on the Guru's face, then they are sajai, punished in Sangaji. And sometimes you've got to be very careful with this word punished, because it doesn't mean punished in that way that God's being cruel to us. There's no such thing. God and cruelty, they don't go together. No, this word, even though it means literally punished, but the way we look at it is meaning that our own attachment has become our punishment of now going through this process of having to be forced out of our body, because death cannot be stopped. So hukme shabad pachaniye pyare, this saying hukme shabad, that we start to realize this game of Vaheguru Ji through the Guru's words. Shabad pachaniye pyare, the daddas got sihari, so through the Guru's shabad we start getting this understanding. Darge panda jai, and then in God's world, God's court, panda jai, we are honored then. Sangaji hukme ganat ganaiye pyare, there's those that Sangaji hukme ganat ganaiye pyare, they're always trying to work it out. Oh, if I do this action, will this do that? If I do this action, but they're doing that accordingly to their own man, to their own Sangaji mind, and not actually connecting through their Guru Shabad. So can they, and those, then what happens to those? Can they hukme home doe? They are constantly stuck in their I am, in their ego, and doe in duality. Hukme pave pavaye pyare. Hukme, it is only under the laws of Vaheguru Ji, through Vaheguru Ji's will, pave, that we actually then go round and round. Pavaye, it is Vaheguru Ji that makes us go round and round in that cycle of reincarnation, Sangaji. Meaning that we haven't got the power of designing that this action will keep me in the cycle of birth and death. But it is Vaheguru Ji's law. They have created that if you do this, then you will get this. So in that sense, it's Vaheguru Ji that keeps us spinning around. And then Sangaji, look, it's spelled out for us. When we do Avgan, when we actually do lowly actions, Avgan Sangaji is basically that gives us dukh, that gives us pain. So if we're still going round and round in pain and suffering in this life, Sangaji, not just the cycle of reincarnation, but if we're suffering in this life, that is Avgan. Anything that causes suffering for us, Sangaji, is sin. And then it deceives us. Those actions deceive us and keep us, and they make us cry, meaning make us suffer. And that is all under Vaheguru Ji's hukam. We don't decide what those actions are. We have to get those actions right if we want to escape from Vaheguru Ji, and through the Guru we get to understand what those actions are. So speaking sweetly, for example, with humility. Speaking sweetly doesn't mean mere bache, that doesn't mean speaking sweetly. Speaking sweetly comes from inside, meaning that you've got that pure intention. You've got not just pure intention, Sangaji, but you're coming from a place of compassion. When you speak from compassion and wanting pala, wanting good for others, that is speaking sweetly. Speaking sweetly is when we speak from humility, when we actually speaking from becoming the dust and not looking down at someone. That is speaking sweetly. When we don't look down on someone, whatever word comes out, that is sweet, Sangaji. Sache Paatjaji saying here to us, kende muthi roe, kende will cry, because those certain actions will deceive us and keep us in the chakkar, in that cycle of suffering. Sangat ji, hukam sanjape Shah ka pyare, kende, but recognizing the hukam of that Shah, of that king, kende sach mile vidiyai hoye, kende they will get to unite with such, with the truth, with Waheguru ji. Mile vidiyai hoye, kende then as we meet Waheguru ji vidiyai, then we'll realize the true greatness of this life that was given to us. Akhan auka akhiye pyare, kende, but actually it's so very difficult, kende, to akhan, to actually speak and say, kende, speak sweetly, come from a place of humility is very difficult. Sangat ji, akhan auka, kende, akhiye pyare, to say those words with coming from that place of Waheguru, of Wah. Sangat ji, kyo suniye sach now, how do we actually listen to suniye that sach, know that name of that true Waheguru ji. Sangat ji, that over here is referring to Anhat Shabad, that Shabad that is inside of us, that is constant, that is that vibration that all the creation has been made from, that vibration that all the creation is being sustained in, that to be able to connect to that vibration, which then leads me to knowing how to live. Sangat ji, how do I listen to that? Sache Pachi saying, it's so difficult. Jini so sala hai pyare, those that actually praise that Waheguru ji, haun tin balahare jao, I am a sacrifice to them. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pachi ji say, now mile santokhiyan pyare. This has been translated in different ways as well. Those that actually then receive that naam, that connection with Waheguru ji, mile, what happens to them? Santokhiyan, they become content from inside. Nadar mel milau, and it's ultimately, it's always Waheguru ji's glance that unites us with that one, with Waheguru ji themselves. Kaya kagde je thiye pyare, if my Sangat ji, if my kaya, my body is to become a piece of paper, kagad Sangat ji, pyare man maswani tar, and then my mind actually becomes the ink pot. Kende lalta lekhan sach ki pyare, and then what? With my tongue, lalta means tongue, lalta with my tongue, I then do what? Lekhan, I write what? Sach ki pyare, only write the truth, meaning when I bring truthful living into my life, har guna likho vichar, then I am constantly living in the gun within Waheguru ji's qualities. Likho vichar, I scribe into my life becomes vichar, the contemplation here meaning become and embody the Waheguru ji's qualities of prem, of love, of compassion, of Sangat ji, of compassion, and khima, of forgiveness. Tanle khari nanka, Pachi saying those that write that into their life of forgiveness, compassion and love, those that write that into their life, they are blessed, they are great. Sach likhe urtar, those that write and bring into their likhe ur, into their heart, tar, bring that sach, bring the truth, Waheguru ji, into Sangat ji. When sach hasn't got an ankad underneath the chacha, then it means truthful living. When sach comes with the ankad underneath the chacha, then it becomes singular, then it becomes Waheguru ji, the truth, the one that is the truth, meaning the one that always has been, that always will be. Sangat ji, then when I bring into my heart truthful living, then that truth, Waheguru ji, will come into my heart. Sangat ji, so itni ka benti hai pravan. Sangat ji, ek nahi par aneka hi galtiyan ho gayi han. I've made many mistakes. So Sangat ji, as we do samapti, so the takeaway is out of this Sangat ji Hukamnama, number 1 is being conscious of the way we respond to situations, and being conscious of how people learn around us is through the observation of our energy, our vibration, our emotions, and Sangat ji, our feelings and actions, less than all of those So it's all a complete package. But when we are amongst those Gurmukhs that are that way, Sangaji, then go and seek them out. And you know what? Because that is one way we can be saved. Ask Satguru Ji so that we can be in the company of those, so that we can be saved with them. It's like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji say to us, kende Nicha andar neech jaat, nichi hu at neech, Nanak tinke sang saath, baddiyan syon kya rees. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji saying, kende jithe neech samalin tithe nadar teri baksiis. Kende those that have become lowly from inside, live in humility and speak sweetly. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, I want to be chilling with them because I know the system of how it works. If I chill with them, I'll become like them and I'll be saved as well. So Sangaji, that is a very easy way of us being saved, is being in that powerful energy of somebody that is already like that. And then with their vibration, will become like that and will be saved as well. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.